Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Yes, my voice it's probably 95% back. It's still a little, you can still kind of hear the little raspy, but that's okay. But I have some volume again. I can start yelling at the kids some more. No, I'm just kidding. Well, apparently war is back on the table. Not that it ever wasn't on the table. It's always been building. We've been a little distracted because of some massive disasters here in the United States, very tragic things that's been going on. But we've been kind of waiting, for Israel to make its move on Iran or whatever is going to go on in the Middle East. Well, apparently that we're at the fine edge of that happening. Reports this afternoon is that Iran has been hit with a major cyber attack, and a lot of areas in government and business and stuff are being attacked pretty aggressively. And there was also reports of a drone strike against a power plant in Iran. Now, I'm sure there's probably more that's going to happen than just that, but there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days. Apparently, Iran has been trying to communicate with other countries in the Middle East, trying to get them on their side. The United States reports that they believe that Iran is very nervous about this attack. A lot of the Middle Eastern countries are concerned that if Israel attacks oil fields or any type of oil facilities in Iran, that it could lead to more attacks in the region on oil facilities. So there's that. There's still a lot of stuff going on between Israel and Lebanon and Israel and Yemen. But now we're waiting to see if this whole little scuffle between Iran and Israel is going to get even bigger. And it like I said, it appears that it's going to happen very, very soon. Hours, maybe a few days. Probably some pretty good odds that it's going to happen this weekend. Now, how does that affect us, right? I mean, most of you are sitting there saying, well, that's over there in the Middle East. They fought for centuries. It's what they always do. What does it matter to me? Good point. I will admit that that's a good point, but I think there are some things that do matter to us. Number one, you and I, our tax dollars are funding a lot of this, really both sides of it. Iran has what they, excuse me, maybe not has what they have, but they a lot of the stuff that they have, their equipment is because Obama gave them, lots of money. So did Biden. So there's that. Of course, we're always giving money and weapons to Israel, so we're kind of funding both sides of it. So we're involved that way. There's also a biblical aspect to it that I think a lot of people are waiting to see how this pans out, to see if it is fulfillment of prophecy. We're watching Europe start to turn its back on Israel. France is being the first one, but there are other countries saying that they don't think that anyone should be sending any type of weapons or selling anything to Israel. So there is this kind of turning away from Israel in some ways. That's biblical if it continues to happen. So it affects us because money. It affects us because it's potentially signs of biblical prophecy being fulfilled. But also affects us that if it goes much bigger than what it is, America will likely be drawn into this even more so, meaning that our soldiers could be involved in this. And then, of course, the bigger thing is that it could end up becoming a much bigger war, even a World War III. It's what a lot of people are believing, that this is the beginning stages of World War III. Just in the last several days, Russia and Iran officials have met again to kind of solidify their relationship and their support of Iran. So it's definitely looking like that. Kamala, yeah, that, oh gosh, I don't even know what to say about her. But anyways, I was trying to think of something funny, but it's sad is what it is. But anyways, so she said, I think it was yesterday, that Iran is the greatest threat to America right now. Not Russia, not China, but Iran. I don't know that Iran is really a big threat to us directly, but, you know, if World War III starts out of it, then I guess you could, you know, twist it that way. The point is that it does appear, could be different, but it appears that we are watching the beginning stages of that. Man, a lot of you are going to say, yeah, it's been that way for a while now. I would agree. But I think that we may be at a point that you can see a defining line kind of cross into that World War III scenario, not just the building up of it. And honestly, both political sides at this point are in favor. There's not really anyone in any kind of political leadership, whether it be Democrats or Republicans or Kamala or Trump, that are really trying to stop this. And I know that's going to make some of you upset that are Trump supporters, but it's just the fact that it's true. Just in recent, last week or two, he's talked about, saying that Israel should attack, Iran's nuclear power plants, that if he was president, he would destroy them, blow up all their cities. And I'm not saying that Kamala's any better, because of course Kamala's 100,000 times worse. But the fact is that no one is really trying to avoid this. The West is pushing Israel, I believe, encouraging it to happen. And so we are left with the very possibility of, at very least, a major regional war, and the possibility of just a big world war. And, it may not ever be classified as a world war. It may just be like how Ukraine is going, that it's just another big proxy war. Russia and China and everyone supporting Iran, and then the West is supporting Israel. And so it's a big old proxy war. That's just kind of what things are nowadays. Gas prices could definitely go up, especially, excuse me, see, my throat's not 100% yet, especially if Israel attacks any type of oil producing infrastructure in Iran. You're going to see a spike in oil prices. And then just a lot of other, there could be shipping supply disruptions. If it became a more regional war over there, there's going to be more attacks on ships going through the Red Sea and stuff, which would raise the cost of shipping, which will raise the cost of goods. I don't know that I really have to tell you all this. It's just, it is what it is, and it's happening. And when you, again, like I say often, when you add this to what's already happening in the United States, the prognosis doesn't look very good, right? It doesn't look like a good outlook. So we need to constantly be ready for this, continually getting prepared. I talked about this the other day in a video, and it went over okay. I'll talk about it again soon, because it's really something that's really kind of digging into me. Joe Fox made a video a couple of weeks ago. I think several of you have commented about it, saying that terrorist attacks and various types of attacks, because of what's going on in the Middle East, could start happening here. And since then, there's been at least 2 or 3 things in the news where they have averted things, where there was one just the other day, some guy from Afghanistan was arrested because he was plotting to do something on the election day. The things that will start happening in the American streets, if this really starts to get out of control. We've let millions and millions of people in this country. We don't know how many of them may have religious or ideological ties to, Iran, Russia, places like that. And the things that could start happening on American streets, start happening to women and children, start happening to just you. It's very real. You need to be ready for that. You need to be training, practicing. I worry for women, because a lot of these people from these countries, they put greater value on their livestock than they do women. And the things that could happen, Americans, Western society is not prepared for that. We're so far separated from that type of culture that we just can't imagine what some of these people could do. But yet, if you go into their countries, you go to Afghanistan and Iran and other places and see how they treat women, it's shocking. that could start happening on American streets. And you better be ready for that. You better have a plan of how to react to that. And don't think that, you're going to use your pepper spray and your little whistle and some type of self-defense karate tactics, that you saw in a YouTube video. If you're 100 pounds, 110 pound and 5'4" woman, sorry, you're at a massive disadvantage. And if you're not packing some real heat, any of that other stuff I mentioned is going to be completely useless. You better be prepared, because I know it sounds all scary and doomsday, but I think it's just a matter of time till we get to the point that is fairly common in America. It's already becoming common in Europe. There's been several videos all over Europe and accounts of this happening already. We're not that far away from that becoming normal here in the United States, and so you better be ready for that. All right, get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.